Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today we're going to be looking at something a bit different. I don't normally look at the lower tiers, but with the update to the World of Tanks Tankopedia on the website, it actually gives you the crew and experience modifiers for all the premium vehicles. Now, I knew that the tier 8s earned more money, but not all of them earn the same amount of money as each other, so that's something I'll look into now in my updates, and I may even do a video showing the best tier 8 money earners and the best low tier XP earners. But something I didn't know is that the lower down the tiers you go, the higher the crew XP bonus. And something I did know is the lower the silver bonus, but I didn't realise the crew XP got as high as it did. Now the website is down while I'm recording this, but hopefully before I actually edit it all together and put it up online, it should be back. So through the magic of editing, I will be able to put those up on screen for you. Now I'm looking at the T-127 Tier 3 Russian Premium. Gets premium matchmaking, only sees up to Tier 4, and it is referred to as the baby IS-6, and that's because it's got quite well sloped armour, as you can see there. It's not the fastest light tank, but it has got decent armour, especially for a Tier 3. 40mm on the front of the hull and the turret, 30mm on the sides of the hull and the turret, and 30 on the rear of the hull, 25 on the rear of the turret. 250 hit points, which is, I think it's about average for Tier 3. I can't quite remember now. 38 kilometers an hour, 250 horsepower engine. Chassis rotation 34 degrees, which isn't the fastest, but it's not the slowest. Turret rotation 46 degrees. Rate of fire is 26.25 rounds a minute, and a 320 view range, which I think is pretty much average for Tier 3. Now let's go into the packages and have a quick look at those. So it's got a 45mm gun, the 45mm 20KL. Fires at 26.25 rounds a second, like a minute a second. That'd be fantastic. A minute, like I said before. Aiming time, little on the long side at 2.05, and accuracy 0.43. Penetration on your standard armor piercing rounds are 51, and the damage is 47, which is the same for your premium rounds, which are APCR, and you get 84 penetration with those. You do struggle against Matildas at range, as you may see in one of the videos. I can't quite remember. That might have been a match I had earlier today. Anyway, I'm rambling. HE rounds, very small, so yeah, a little bit like Luster. 23 pen, 62 damage. Signal range, for anybody that's interested, is 300 meters. And like I say, it's quite angled. They call it the baby IS-6. It can bounce some shots, but it can troll you a little bit at the same time. When you are angling it, you do have to be a little bit careful of that side piece there on sort of the cheek of the hull, if you will, because it does flatten out slightly, although as you can see it is sloped back at a very good angle, but I don't know if that counts as the front or the side, and we don't have armor or damage modules on the console yet. Hopefully they will be bringing it. They said they are going to try. Turret front is fairly rounded, and you've got that angle bit as well at the sides there. So one of the best ways to play this is you do not YOLO. You basically try and keep yourself at medium range, keep putting the shots down range, and you can bounce a lot of stuff coming back at you. We'll only ever see Tier 4, and there's a lot of tanks at Tier 4 that you can actually bounce at sort of mid-range if you angle this properly. And a lot of the Tier 3s can be trolled quite a bit by your armour. They come zipping up to you expecting an easy kill, and just keep bouncing, and you just tear them apart while they try and circle you, which is quite fun and satisfying actually, especially when they try and get around the rear and find out that your armour at the rear is 30mm, and some of them still can't even get through that. Now you carry a lot of ammunition, like a lot of the low tiers do. I carry 84 armour piercing, 20 APCR, and no HE. I just don't bother with them down at this level, and I just carry the APCR for things like Matildas and Valentines, that sort of thing. Skills, well, I don't really have a crew for it. That's actually a different crew that I'm training up for when I get to Tier 10, I think. I'm training up my T-54 crew for when I get to that in one of my others, and this is going to be for when I get to Tier 10, but at the minute it's going to go in my T-34 for the ranked battles beta. So enough of talking about this in the garage. Let's get into some gameplay instead. So we're on Erlenberg, standard battle, and it's a Tier 4 match. So let's see what we can do in a Tier 4 match then. You do have to be a bit more careful in a tier 4 match with this. It has got good armour, but you want to stay at medium range, if not a little bit further out, and just risk missing a few shots than letting them get a bit too close. But if you angle it, you can do alright, and it's got quite a small turret, so if you can find somewhere hull down and you wiggle them out a bit, you can do quite well with that. Now, something I did forget to mention in the garage is, like I say, not all the tanks earn the same XP bonus. Now, for the Russians, the best, and in fact I think it's the best in the whole game, is the Churchill 3, and I think it's something like 78% crew, well, 78% XP bonus, which is astronomical. This is 60, and you do really well with this for your crew training. But if you don't want a heavy tank, or you've got a Churchill and you want something a little bit different, because, well, sometimes you do, you know, then this one could be a viable option. I've also got the SU-76I, which I think gets very similar, if not the same, crew bonus as this, and I will cover that in another review. I know that one's not on sale at the minute, but it will come back on sale at some point, so I will cover that one. And that one I find is a fantastic crew trainer. It really is. I'm not saying this one isn't, but I've had a lot more games in the SU-76I training up crew, and it is a good crew trainer. But then again, this one can be a very good crew trainer as well. Now, you saw me missing that Panzer that was rushing across the field there. It wasn't quite a long range, and it's not the most accurate this, but here he is, the little bugger, trying to get through. And there you go, you can see the armour on it, and I give him a nudge, trying to knock his tracks off, stop using auto-aim and start aiming myself, and actually start hitting him. Because as everybody knows, auto-aim does not leave your target. It's alright for when you're circling something, or firing on the move, you've got to concentrate on driving, but honestly, just aim yourself, you're more likely to hit. So, took care of the Panzer 1C. I would hazard a guess, if I had to put money on it, that he was on an arty run. And my radio operator has been knocked out, but let's face it, who ever heals their radio operator? I know I don't. Never. So, I know a few guys went down to the south, but, like I say, the radio range on this is awful, so I've lost radio range with them, so I have no idea what's going on down there. But I'm going to busy myself by shooting at the M3 Stuart. I was denied the kill on it though, but it doesn't matter. And there was another enemy off to my left, I think, but I think somebody dealt with him as well from the hill. So I'm going to make a push forwards. And I think that medium's coming with me. Well, I hope that medium's coming with me. Here's a tier 4 match after all. Like I say, stay at range, keep moving, you can get a few lucky bounces, and yeah, donk. Straight into the bridge. That'll teach me to look where I'm going. That could have ended up very badly. Derpenberg would have claimed another victim to its watery grave. Right, I'm going to go out onto this field slightly and use this dip. I'm quite low, so I can use the back slope here and this little bump in the ground to keep myself as covered as possible and shoot an AFK M3 Lee and I bounce off it. Well, you can't blame him, he's in an M3 Lee. I'd be tempted to go AFK if I was in one. And I'm not adverse to farming a bit of damage on him. Plus, an AFP or an AFK tank can still alert your presence. So to be honest, if you're trying to sneak up, you want to kill him, because as soon as you get near, like I did, I got spotted, and that alerts all his teammates who aren't AFK to your whereabouts. Stug 3B up there doing a bit of spotting for my team. Oh, I found RT. No, I led that one a little bit too much. That one bounces. No, I don't know where that one went. Oh, there we go, one connects. And another one to finish him off. I think somebody else got a hit in there as well. Stug's been dealt with. So we've only got the medium tank left. So now, this is where everybody straps their man pants on and gets brave and starts chasing down the last enemy tank. But it looks like Artie got him in the end. There you go, you saw me take a few hits from that Panzer 1C there. Like I say, you can bounce a few shots from some of the tanks in it, especially the ones with those sort of spray and pray machine gun type guns. I got a money bonus there, but you can see just how much premium vehicle bonus you get. Like I say, 60%, so you can see the base XP in there at the bottom, and then just next to it is how much I actually got for that vehicle, and it is a massive amount of bonus XP, so they are good for crew training. Right, I've just put this short little bit on, and it's just to demonstrate the armour. I mean, I know that's a tier 2, but that's a tier 3. And it's just to really demonstrate the armour if you angle this thing. I mean, I start taking a lot of hits there. And it's actually Artie that finishes me off. That's my own fault. I don't play Artie safe. And I just sort of zoned out for a moment. Completely forgot Artie was there. Had a massive brain fart. And yeah, boom. Anyway, last one for you. And hopefully after seeing how I've done in this thing, you could probably make up your own minds as to whether you'd like to purchase it. It is in the store at the minute. It's quite a cheap and fun little tank. Like I say, it's the Baby IS-6. So we're on Pacific Island, standard battle, and this time it is a tier... what is it? Tier 3 match. So, tier 3 you can afford to be, like I say, not YOLO, but you can be moderately aggressive in this. You do still have to angle well, and you don't have to get too carried away and get too overconfident in your armour. It is not a Panzer 2J by any means, but with some basic angling and some wiggling and moving about, you can do quite well in this thing and achieve quite a few bounces. And in fact, it is, to be honest, this thing ought to be in the tech tree, and it ought to be really cheap or given to new players, because it is a brilliant tank for learning to angle in. And I know that's such a basic thing, but even now you still see tanks, even at high tiers, just sitting face on, straight on, no angling, and then they act surprised when the armour gets penetrated time and time again. So this is a brilliant tank to learn about armour angling in. There you go, Wargaming. If you ever see this video, give these things away to new players, or just give it as an earnable or something, or put it on sale for even cheaper so that anybody can buy one and start to learn their armour angling. That is my advice to you. Anyway, now I'm setting Wargaming in the world to rights. Back to the game. So I was quite cheeky with that one back there. I did just use auto aim and go forwards while donking and derping my way, sliding and scratching against the rocks there. Wasn't particularly paying attention. I did panic a little bit because I started getting penetrated, and that sounded completely wrong. I would say most people start to panic when they get penetrated by surprise. But enough of that. And yeah, it took some of my health off, so I sort of dipped about a bit. Anyway, where is everybody? Well, I would say they're camping. Oh, there we go. Yep, camping. Panzer 3A. And bouncers. And I'm going through. It's not very often you have to use the premium ammunition in this. I just carry it for Matildas. Occasionally DW2s, especially from a bit of a distance. Up close you can usually penetrate them, but at a distance you do have to be careful. Anyway, Artie finished off him, I think it was. It could have been one of those guys following me. And there's a D2 here. They've got quite a bit of armour. They bounced and bounced again. Oh, there we go, found a soft spot, and Artie finishes him off again. And there's the enemy Artie. That was lucky. It wasn't fully aimed. Hurt his engine. I don't think he can turn to get a shot, and it bounced. Well, there you go. Now these two, they're not the best games I've had in this. Well, I say they're not the best games. They're not bad games, but no, they're not the best. There's the other RT. But while I was trying to get some footage in this, I was just an artillery magnet. Absolutely, just got hammered by artillery. A couple of times, like in that last little clip, it was my own fault. I had a brain fart and forgot artillery was there. So, and but no. Oh, how rude. But anyway, yeah, absolute RT magnet. And I got so fed up with getting destroyed by RT that I went in my own and destroyed some other people instead. Brought down misery and despair upon them. Right, and we've got that situation again. There is one enemy tank left. Everybody puts the man pants on, gets brave, and starts rushing to try and get the last damage. Myself included, but I was wearing my man pants all along. Anyway, it's a T-126 PS, which I believe... I might be wrong actually, I think they were given to super testers. No, didn't manage. I don't know if that missed or just dinged off. Not entirely sure, but didn't manage to get any more ammunition. Anyway, well, after seeing that, I hope you've been able to make up your mind as to whether you'd like to buy this little baby IS-6, the T-127. I think I possibly would recommend it. It's cheap enough, and it's a good fun little tank to train up some of your Russian crews if you haven't got a Churchill 3 and you want something a bit cheaper. But yeah, I'm having fun in it, I must admit. I am having fun. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen tonight, and I hope it's been informative, and if it has, don't forget to leave a like or even subscribe to the channel, because it'll really help us out. And as always, take care out there. I'll catch you next time. See you later.